gotta take care of things. Just gotta take care of things for just a moment. And voila. Got it. Okay, so now let's get back to where we need to be. For those of you who are new here, you can let me know where your location is. You don't have to be specific about it, just so that I can pinpoint your temperature and wind speed direction as well. You know, for example, like let me go back to windy.com just so that I can pinpoint Wild's location. Wild, for your area, you have somewhat light and variable winds with a temperature at 41 degrees. That is right around the mid-single digits in degrees Celsius on the positive side. Now let me turn back here and then switch back to radar Omega just so that we can talk about what's going on with the forecast for the next 3 days. But of course, once around near 7 o'clock hits, then we go to Minecraft. Now, for you, Wild, you're gonna get about mid single digits in degrees Celsius. But for those throughout the United States for tomorrow morning, we do have plenty of mild temperatures throughout much of the South. Upper above average temperatures throughout parts of the Mississippi Valley, and as well as parts of the West Coast, though. Very mild in parts of the desert Southwest, but very chilly and cold. Below average temperatures throughout places like the Rockies, Great Basin, Northern Plains, and much of the East Coast, and the Great Lakes region. There it is. I was wondering when the spam bot was going to show up. Yeah, I got rid of the spam bot. Human users only. While your temperature for by tomorrow evening will be in the mid to upper single digits in degrees Celsius. For those in the U.S., we do have plenty of temperatures that are mild. From places like the Great Plains to the Great Basin, mild to very warm temperatures in the desert Southwest, parts of California, and a little bit on the immediate side of the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. Plenty of mild temperatures, warm temperatures in the southeast. Chilly temperatures mostly on the interior side of the Northeast, and a little bit in the Cascades and the Sierra Nevadas, and a little bit in the northern Rockies, and parts of the Great Lakes region. Get some chilly weather going. By Sunday morning, Wild, your temperature reading will be in the mid single digits. So far for tomorrow, your temperature reading could be right around the weather could be a little bit cloudy, overcast conditions throughout some parts of the day, but I'll look further once we get into the dew point. Throughout the U.S., plenty of mild temperatures in parts of the South, and even some above average temperatures in the Great Plains region. Freezing air in the northwestern part of the country, with the exception of the coastal part of the West Coast. Central Valley, California has mild temperatures. Desert Southwest too. And chilly temperatures will occur throughout much of the Northeast, Great Lakes region, and parts of the Great Basin too. For Sunday night, there's plenty of mid to upper single digits in degrees Celsius, maybe close to 10 degrees Celsius in your area, Wild. Throughout, folks in the Northeast, you have plenty of warm weather to deal with throughout the southern half of the country. Plus some mild above average temperatures throughout parts of the Great Plains and the Mid-Atlantic, the Ohio Valley, and the Central Valley, California too. At least it's going to warm up a little bit in the afternoon this weekend. Not by much though. Yeah, well, it could warm up days like Sunday. We got plenty of chilly weather, freezing temperatures throughout parts of the northwest, and as well as some chilly temperatures and below average temperatures in the northeast, parts of the Great Lakes region. By Monday morning, though, while your temperature reading will be in the mid single digits in degrees Celsius, for folks in the southeast and south central part of the United States, plenty of warm air and just a little bit of above average temperatures in the Great Plains, but chilly temperatures will still be a thing throughout the Great Lakes region, the northeast. A lot of freezing air in the northern Rockies, the eastern side of the Cascades, parts of the Great Basin get some freezing temperatures. Mild temperatures in southern Arizona, all the way to the Central Valley, California. And now and then finally we have Monday night. We got temperatures for you while they're going to be in the upper single digits in degrees Celsius, but in places throughout much of the south, plenty of hot temperatures in Florida, Texas, and Arizona, and much of California, getting a lot of warmth there, and above average temperatures, only limited to folks in the lower to mid Mississippi Valley. And we do have freezing temperatures in the northern Rockies, and a little bit in the Cascades, though. Plenty of below average temperatures in the northeast, and a little bit of cold air that's moving into parts of the Great Plains. Let me see. I usually consider anything 10 degrees Celsius or higher as warm during late October. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I see. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you, Wild. I wouldn't blame you at all. I mean, the higher up you go, then you end up with chilly temperatures, just to a point where I'm like, well, I would assume that the higher you go up, the more you would take anything as being warm, as long as it's warm enough for you. Of course, what you put at 10 degrees Celsius or higher as warm. Alright, and then we're going to go to dew points. So we got dew point, and then we'll deal with Cape, and then we'll deal with precipitation, and then total snowfall amounts for the next 3 days, and then we'll get to Minecraft. This is the second round, dew point. While your dew point values will be in the mid single digits, which means that it's going to be very humid. Yep. A lot of humidity in places like Florida, Southern Plains, Texas, Louisiana, the Central Valley, California. A little bit of moisture in places like much of the Pacific Northwest. Although I wouldn't bet money, but still, some cloudy conditions will occur throughout the early morning hours for you, Wild. And for tomorrow night, though, while your reading will be in the mid-single digits, which means that some clouds will occur there, maybe some dry weather, but we'll take a look at the radar. Plenty of humidity in places like the Gulf Coast, that includes Texas, lower Mississippi Valley, Florida, the Great Plains dealing with plenty of moisture, and Central Valley, California getting a good amount of moisture, a little bit in Washington State and coastal Oregon, and even a little bit throughout places like Minnesota. Hold on a minute. Okay, and now let's move on to Sunday morning, where Sunday morning for you, while your dew point values go just a bit up for Sunday morning in the upper single digits in degrees Celsius, which means that you're going to end up dealing with plenty of humid conditions, possibly in a form of fog or even overcast conditions at the very least, if winds are there. There's plenty of humidity to go around in places like Florida, the lower Mississippi Valley, Texas, some good amount of humidity in the Great Plains region, plenty of humidity in California, a little bit in the coastal side of the Pacific Northwest. For Sunday night, though, for you wild, you could experience dew point values that could be in the mid to upper single digits in degrees Celsius, which means some overcast skies, some few clouds in the vicinity. But for those in the U.S., a lot of humidity all across Florida and the rest of the Gulf Coast, the lower Mississippi Valley, some humidity throughout much of California, and as well as the Great Plains region, and a little bit in the Mid-Atlantic on the coastal side, though, and a tiny bit in the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. Monday morning, while your dew point value will be in the mid-single digits in degrees Celsius, some fog and overcast skies will be a factor there. Plenty of humidity throughout places like the south, and some humidity will still linger throughout the Great Plains and much of California. And finally, by Monday night, though, while your dew point value will still be in the mid to upper single digits in degrees Celsius, it's plenty of clouds in your area while, but I'm just going to check the radar just to be on the safe side. But there's going to be a lot of moisture for those in the south, and a little bit of humidity still lingering in parts of the Great Plains on the eastern side. But the western side, dry air starts moving in. Plenty of humidity in places like California and the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest, though, and a little bit in the Mid-Atlantic. Now we're going to switch to Cape. This is a really quick one. There is a lot of convection in places like southern Florida, Texas, and the southern plains, a little bit in parts of the northwestern part of the country, and even a tiny bit in parts of the Great Lakes region and the interior parts of the Northeast. A lot of convection in Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, and South Florida, and a good amount of convection throughout the northwestern part of the country, and a tiny bit in the Northeast and parts of the Great Lakes region. Sunday morning, a lot of convection throughout places like southern Texas, southern Louisiana, and parts of Alabama and Mississippi on the south side, a little bit in South Florida, and tiny bit in parts of the Pacific Northwest, and a very, very, very tiny bit throughout the Great Plains, and as well as parts of the Northeast and parts of the Great Lakes region, and even parts of the Northern Rockies and a few places in the Great Basin. Sunday night, there's going to be a lot of convection throughout the Gulf Coast, a little bit in the southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley, tiny bit in the northwestern part of the country, Wyoming and Utah, a little bit in parts of the Great Lakes region, parts of the Northeast, and even the center part of the country too. Monday morning, there are lots of lift in the atmosphere in Florida and on the coastal parts of the Carolinas and Georgia. Tiny bit of convection throughout places like the lower Mississippi Valley, the Great Plains, and even a little bit of convection in South Texas. Tiny bit of convection throughout various parts, a few parts of the northwestern part of the country, and as well as parts of the Great Lakes and the interior Northeast and parts of the Mid-Atlantic. And now, finally, we do have plenty of convection throughout Florida, much of Texas, and a tiny bit in the northwestern part of the country, the Great Lakes region, Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, and New England. And now the final part, which happens to be here. We start off with plenty of precipitation in places like the Pacific Northwest, southern